Hi there, I am Drew Badger, the English Fluency Guide, and in this video I'm going to talk about content alignment for language learning. Content alignment. It sounds like a complicated idea, but it's actually very simple, and I'll show you why you should be thinking about this as you learn. Now, one of the most important things that I explain to people, you've probably heard me talk about this lesson many times, is you should be doing basically the opposite of what most people do to learn. And the reason you do that is because most people don't get fluent. So you should not do what they do. And you can think specifically about all those different things, like how you listen, how you practice speaking, how you meet people to speak with. But in this video, I want to talk about content alignment specifically for language learning. So here's what that means and how it works. Often I will meet students who say they want to have conversations like this. They want to communicate in a certain way. So I'm just going to label this as HW. Well, actually, nah. I don't want to make this too simple, but basically how they want to speak. We'll put it like that. HS for how they want to speak. Now, the idea of how they want to speak, this could be many different things, but the most important ones, this is the way they communicate. So this is the words that they are using. It's also the pronunciation, and the content. So the kinds of topics, which is really related to words, but we're just going to talk big picture about the kinds of content they'd like to learn. Now, what people will often do is they will send me emails, or if I see them out in Japan where I live, they will ask me questions like, how do I learn this? How do I sound more like a native? How do I learn more native vocabulary? And I say, well, how are you learning right now? And usually they say, well, I'm reading this or I'm learning that thing. And I say, okay, that's interesting. So you want to have, you have an idea or a goal for how you want to speak, but the content that you are learning with, this could be videos, it could be often maybe some movies or books or something like that. The content is not aligned with how they want to speak. Now, an obvious example is children. You see children, they spend time with other kids, they watch little shows for kids, and they start speaking like little kids. It's pretty obvious. But what you see there, like that's content alignment, and you understand why children speak the way they do or tell the jokes that they do because they're watching content specifically for little kids. Sometimes you will find a child who just likes older people stuff, and maybe they watch shows for adults or other things like that, and that changes their vocabulary. And that's usually less of a problem for native speakers, but non-native speakers, as an example, someone wants to be casual. They want to understand natives in real conversations. They want to be casual in their speech. They want to blend the sounds of their words together, but they're watching CNN. Or they are watching the BBC. Now, there's nothing wrong with the BBC, CNN, news programs like that. If you're interested in that, that's fine. But there is a misalignment here between formal vocabulary and the goal of casual speech. Does that make sense? I know it's not supposed to be a profound, amazing idea. It's to remind people, hey, if you want to be casual and speak casually and understand native speakers who speak casually, then you shouldn't be looking at CNN or BBC. Now, an example of something you should read or pay attention to is kind of like tabloid news. I'll write this up here, tabloid news. So TABLOID. This is conversational for everyday people, lots of idioms and funny things and actual conversational speech, and more formal, specialized, technical vocabulary that you would see in something like the news. So even me, my focus for learning Japanese is everyday casual conversations. So I can talk with people about all kinds of things, and I can even have conversations with people about education or business or whatever but it's usually more in a casual conversational way, the way people really speak. So I would have trouble writing an essay in Japanese about something using formal vocabulary because I just don't know so much of it, unless it's a specific thing maybe related to education or business. But in general, this content alignment here, I will sometimes watch some TV shows that are maybe casual or conversational or dramas or something like that. This kind of information in Japanese, but most of my content is just speaking with Japanese people. And this could be online or in person, and most of the time in person because I live in Japan. But when I was in America, it was some online and some meeting people. But anyway, so the more casual way to do this is tabloid. And so you can look up the National Enquirer. This is probably the most famous of the tabloid magazines. And the kind of information in here, it's probably not going to help you in daily life the way that CNN and BBC will. If you've never heard of the National Enquirer, you'll understand why when you look at it. But it's stuff about celebrities or sports stars or other things like that. Lots of drama and scandals. So it's interesting content. I don't personally read it because I don't care, but I recommend it for people rather than learning with the BBC. Pick up a magazine like this. It's written for an easier audience and it has a lot more casual conversational speech. So this is just one example. It could be with music as well, or movies or other things, but there should be alignment between the goal you have for how you want to speak and the kind of content that you're learning with. So if you want to speak like a native speaker, it's good to watch some videos like mine and learn how to do that, because this is what I call the fluency bridge, where I'm moving you from your current level to the higher level of where you'd like to be speaking. But you can't spend all of your time with just English lessons. That's only going to get you halfway to your goal. You have to spend the rest of your time with the kind of content that's aligned with what your goals are. Now, if you are a professor or you don't care about having casual conversations, really you should, because even in an academic setting or a business setting, really the secret to having great conversations is understanding casual and conversational language. But you can focus more on things like the BBC. But just remember this idea. So a lot of people, they will try to do one thing. They will have this in mind for their goal, and then not move towards that thing because they're doing something else. So most people, the reason for people who are learning the language, this is how they are taught to learn language. Hey, today in the English lesson, we're going to listen to a report from the BBC. Okay, that's great. But how is that going to help me speak in a casual conversation where people are not using that vocabulary? So if you don't care about this stuff, or you are just more interested in having better conversations, go with the tabloids and the National Enquirer rather than the news. Does that make sense? Anyway, I won't go too much into this, but this is what content alignment is all about. This is what I teach. And remember, it's very simple. Begin with your goal and you work backwards from that. So you don't begin with the content, you begin with the goal. Where do you want to be and how do you get there? Pretty simple. All right, well, if you have enjoyed this, you can post a comment down below. Let me know about the kinds of stuff that you learn with and if that's been helpful for you or not. It'll also be nice for other people to see your recommendations. Also, become a subscriber to the YouTube channel. Click on the bell icon after you do that if you'd like to learn more and get more videos and receive notifications about my videos when they're released. And hopefully you have enjoyed this lesson. If you have, again, click that like button and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you'd like to continue right now learning more great information with the English Fluency Guide, click on the link that I post down in the description below this video, or in the link in the description. I'm like losing my mind over it, or in the link in the upper right of this video to learn more about the fluency course, or just keep learning right here on YouTube by doing these 3 simple things right now. 1. Click on this link to subscribe to my YouTube channel for over 500 free videos. 2. Click on this link to download my #1 ebook guide to fast fluency free. And 3. Click here to watch the most popular video on English fluency here on YouTube.